Hey, hello. Welcome to the 6 o'clock show at the Global Vegfest on December the 18th, 2021. This is the awards show. We're going to be presenting the awards winners, pretty much all of the 21 categories, the 210 nominees, and we will be presenting the awards very shortly. I say we because the results will be published on our website shortly, just after I've announced them all. And you'll be able to access them to see in detail, of course, all the results. Before I do that, I'm going to just talk very briefly, and I do promise, because I know you're all waiting for the awards, you don't want to listen to me all night. I'll be brief, but I'm just going to mention a couple of things about, our current position, where we are with the movement, especially globally, how important it is to do a couple of things, I think. And then very briefly about our own business, VegfestUK, where we are in regards to our future. And then from there, I shall be straight into the awards, so you won't have to wait long. But one of the things that struck me from COP26, especially, was the need to collaborate. And I think we're seeing this time and again. And I would commend those wonderful groups that collaborated to present the importance of challenging this domination of livestock farming across the globe. I think we saw governments literally pull livestock farming from the agenda. And the collaboration, perhaps spearheaded or certainly central part played by the Vegan Society with Animals Equality, Viva, Animal Aid, the Plant-Based Treaty, Vegan Organic Network, and a number of grassroots activists coming together to put as loudly and clearly the absolute need to address livestock farming from a climate change perspective. And I commend those people, and we look to that for leadership, because that's an example of collaboration that is what we're going to need this coming decade, loud and clear. We can still be clear about our positions. We can be clear about veganism, the position we take against the commodification of animals, all animals. We can be clear about climate justice, climate change, livestock farming and associated issues. Clarity, consistency, but also compassion and kindness. And importantly, seeking learning outcomes and dealing with sensitive issues that affect each and every one of us, with an intent to learn, to seek those outcomes, try and be supportive and understanding while still being clear and concise. We need to avoid those punitive, puritanical approaches. Quite clearly do not take us further to the road for liberation. On our own little story, we've seen some wonderful collaborations too, and I should thank deeply Vegan Business Tribe, David and Lisa, who've been collaborating with us for the last 2 years and have really set up an incredibly good supportive platform for especially small vegan businesses that have really struggled during the pandemic, of course, like many of us. The wonderful work of the Plant-Based Health Professionals UK, who have been stalwart contributors to our own online events, but also to again collaborate with a number of widespread across the board, and maybe see that grow, bringing that expertise in that area. And of course, too, the Vivas, Katrina Fox and the Vegan Women's Leadership Network. And Katrina has really spearheaded a most wonderful supportive platform and collaborated with us and many others, and we're all to benefit from that. So thank you deeply for these people like Vegan Organic Network and V for Life, who work with special care homes, and basically all activists. Everybody, thank you. and keep strong, keep going. For us, VegfestUK, we are an events business. We've run some of the biggest events across the UK for the last 2 decades. And it's obviously been a very tough genre. Events have tumbled, and so many of our people that we've worked with over the last 2 years are no longer working with us. They're no longer in business. Some of the contractors, some of the individuals, especially with the entertainment and the sound systems and the lighting, the expertise has been hammered. And just today, literally 2 hours ago, London, the very city where we work, has declared a state of national or state of emergency because of the rise of hospitalisations of COVID. I don't think anybody blame a business if it shut up shop. I don't think anybody could hold that as anything but an unfortunate option, and many face this, and indeed we have faced this too, and we've been on the brink of having to shut our doors for quite a long while now. Obviously, we are faced with a very uncertain future, but I'll be very happy to confirm that VegfestUK have plans for a live event in 2022. And we are returning to Olympia on November the 12th, 13th of 2022. All being well, to the Grand at Olympia. We're going to have room for up to 400 exhibitors there or thereabouts, and up to 10,000 visitors a day. Let's hope that in this period of 11 months from now, we will be clear of all of these COVID restrictions and concerns. But who knows? We're prepared as best we can be. But I am absolutely thrilled to confirm those dates for 2022. VegfestUK not only going to be returning to Olympia 12th, 13th of November 22, but we will also be continuing with our Global Vegfest. So there will be 2 Global Vegfests next year in March and again in September, where we'll be working online to link up so many fabulous activists that we've been able to do during lockdown. And we will also be publishing issues 4, 5, and 6 of Force of Vegan, our online vegan activist magazine, and Plant Planet, which is also our online magazine. So there you go. That's the good news I wanted to share with you briefly before the awards. We won't be going live until, I don't know, bookings maybe March, maybe or something, but you can register your interest if you're a vegan business, and you can share our good news. It's published on the website, VegfestUK. You will see, and there on our social media, the good news. To confirm, and may I just say at this point, thank you to all our exhibitors. We have 70 exhibitors who booked in and paid for their pitches before the cancellation nearly 2 years ago. And all but 2 stayed staunch, absolutely staunch and supportive and doing incredible. And even those 2 that haven't, no, that's fine. I respect that. I'm okay with that. That's fine. We're good. And on that note, I should just say thank you to everybody who stuck with us. We're back, and we're going to continue in 22. And I'm just absolutely thrilled. And I'd just like to say thank you to the significant help we've had from a number of people who I'm not going to name at this point, but we are not without significant help. I will acknowledge that. So thank you for that. Right, I did promise I would not overrun. I haven't. It's 10 past. We're on to the awards. And my good friend is going to run through, I think, 150 slides with me. We're going to go through pretty much a rate of knots. So here you go. the VegfestUK Awards 2021. And yeah, where I would just say at this point, usually every awards for, goodness me, a number of years, I've co-presented with my very good friend Karen Ridges. And Karen's not with us tonight. We're in touch. Karen, I miss you. Thank you for your staunch support. You have been wonderful. I think there's just a whole community out here who just adores you and your work. Very grateful. And I'm missing you already. But I'm pretty confident that in 2022, Karen Ridges will be presenting the awards live at aforementioned VegfestUK, London Olympia, November the 12th, 13th, 22. Anyway, Karen, thanks for all your help. Now, on with the awards. Here we go. So the first category is the favourite vegan UK milks, UK vegan milks. We had a number of fabulous nominees, and what I like about this, of course, is you get a number of some of the newer firms, some of the independent firms mixed in with some of the originals, and some of the big hitters, as it were. And this has always been a spirit of the VegfestUK Awards, to try and mix up some of the nominees to make sure that we get a really good spread. And indeed, this was a really close one, and I was thrilled to see. I think 2 out of 3 of the top 3 were independent firms. In third place, we have Glebe Farm Oat Milk. Well done, Glebe Farm. Of course, quite new. Latest in the headlines, of course, for taking on Oatly, who took them on, actually. And Glebe Farm won that one. Well done, Glebe Farm. You stood your ground. I think you've got a lot of respect for that. In second place, we have a wonderful firm, Minor Figures. And in Minor Figures have come in second quite clearly because they've got just a fabulous product. Well done, Minor Figures. But in first place, the award for the favourite UK vegan milk goes to our good friends Cocoa Dairy Free, who came in a very tight group. They only just won that, which shows how much people do value these other brands. But Cocoa Dairy Free have won that award. Well done, Cocoa Dairy Free. They've been with VegFest since the very first show back in 2003, I think, pretty much. Maybe 2004 or 5. Wonderful array of coconut-based products, including, for things like yogurts and such like. So well done, Cocoa Dairy Free. Congratulations on a well-won award for the favourite UK vegan milk 2021. Next, the favourite vegan protein powder. Yes. Big fans of protein powder, a wonderful lineup, including a new UK-grown hemp protein from the British Hemp Company, and of course the Good Hemp, which is all UK-grown hemp. Some really good protein powders there. Some big firms, a very closely fought one again. And in third place, we had Vitally Vegan with their protein powder. So well done, Vitally Vegan. Coming in second place, we did have Huel, which means that the winner is, in this category, once more for the favourite vegan protein powder, Vivo Life. Well, Vivo Life, that really is, a strong category and one to win. Again, it's pretty close. Again, Vivo have been with us for a number of years, have been staunch, and we very much hope to welcome them back to live events in 22. And of course, all the wonderful ambassadors and all the great vegan athletes who use that product. So well done, Vivo Life. Congratulations, well fought, well won, and you won it hands down. All the results will be posted later, of course. And the next category is the favourite vegan magazine. Now, I will say on this side, we include our own magazine, Force of Vegan, which came in last, but for the 70 or so people who voted for us, we were absolutely thrilled. A real testament, because this is indeed a very strong category, and I believe the closest margin at the final count, if not the second closest margin amongst the whole lot. Dunno. In third place. In third place was Plant-Based News. That's the online news service, which has really grown, got a lot of investment recently. Well done to the Plant-Based News team. In second place, Vegan Life magazine, who have won this award many times, have come in second place, and I believe just pipped to the post by a handful of votes. be only one winner here, and that is indeed congratulations to the Anthem team and Vegan Food and Living magazine, which just narrowly won the award. A really good publication, one that's really developed. Hit extremely hard during lockdown, of course, as we're all magazines. So just to be still standing is a huge testament. But Vegan Food and Living have done more than that. They've flourished, they've grown, they've got better, they've become more interesting, and they won the award. Congratulations, and well done to all of those wonderful publications. We want to see more. Thank you. And the next category, favourite vegan, something resembling body parts, which is, of course, vegan meat. I'm not quite sure why we're calling it meat still. Perhaps next year we may reconsider that one. But I think we all know what we're on about here. And, of course, there are some really, really good, very, very tasty, really fantastic offerings. Of course, people love this stuff in their own right. They love it when they're transitioning. People say, why do we eat vegan meat? It's because we like it. Why not? It's some great products. And there is a whole load of really good products there, including, well, third place, this, which is done really well. It's kind of a new kid on the block, or one of them. It seems to come up. Second place, Vivera, which is pretty huge, and I believe I've won this award before. And first place, a family favourite, and once more, one of our old school favourites from VegFest, going back, best part of 20 years now, not quite, 19 next year. Fry's Family Foods, well done Fry's, and we are thrilled to see those products coming in again for a winner for the favourite vegan meat, and again, a hotly contested category, because of course there's a huge investment going in to replacement meats and such like. There really are some good ones out there, so well done all of those. Well done Fry's. Our next category, yes, right, now this one really was close. Okay, well, this one was like close right down to the last hour or two, and I did get the privilege to watch the voting closely as this builds up. And I should say at this point that I think we had something in, close on 10,000 votes. Not all of them verified, but we had nearly 10,000 people voting this year, which is brilliant. And this category especially was extremely close, and in part because you had both fashion and footwear. One or two people queried that. It's like, well, we kind of just freshen it up. And I think also we wanted to include quite a lot of different things this year too. We wanted to include some of the groups and some of the campaigns and some of the individuals. So yeah, it's a movable feast, as they say. There's no set rules, but what we have had is a very, very tight and closely fought category. And in third place was vegetarian shoes, who in previous years have walked away with certainly the footwear. Got a lot of votes. In second place, vegan happy clothing came in second, and in first place, just by a very, very fine margin. Congratulations, of course, to the wonderful Viva la Vegan, who've won this award before in the fashion, and which she deserved. Really had to work hard during this period, especially really missed the live events and have to work incredibly hard, as indeed, many small vegan businesses. And I think they all really appreciate too the support they do get. There's some staunch customers out there. And I'm sure some of the people listening now are looking later who voted are amongst those. So thank you, customers. Thank you, everybody supporting our independence, but especially thank you to Viva la Vegan for their outstanding collection of vegan fashion, and a worthy winner indeed. To our next category, please. Favourite vegan ice cream? Yes, slightly incongruous, possibly you may think. on the 18th of December as the temperatures tumble in an early evening. But you know what? Why not? What's wrong with vegan ice cream in midwinter? Indeed, any day of the week, potentially. I can't think of a good excuse why not. We shouldn't have vegan ice cream pretty much whenever. So, fortunately, when I actually went vegan 40 years ago, there wasn't really any ice cream about. There was a little bit, and it wasn't that good. That's changed. And I can certainly, truthfully say, I am personally familiar with all but one of those brands there. And indeed, two of them are in my freezer as we speak. So, fabulous collection. In third place of the favourite vegan ice cream is Raw. Raw will be a familiar brand to many. Raw are pretty much everywhere, and they're big. We love them. We love them. They're a very good brand. Well, Raw, obviously nothing to do with Lions or the conversation we'll be having tomorrow about why people are not actually Lions, but don't worry about that. That's just an in-joke. In second place, we have, for the favourite vegan ice cream, the Coconut Collaborative come in second place. They're in my freezer right now. Well, not for long. And good luck to Coconut Collaborative. We've been doing this for a while now, but a worthy, and I have to say this category was not close. And from the first day, there was only one winner in this category, as you will see from the votes. If you want to go onto the website, VegfestUK around about 7 o'clock, you'll see that indeed Booja Booja have pretty much walked away with the best favourite vegan ice cream. And I'm sure that many people will second that. They really did have a lot of votes. And they've been around for a long time now, Booja Booja. And they really do deserve some credit for, as it were, keeping ahead of the competition, which is very difficult to do. But it's a testament to how good the product is. And it really is good, as you know. My favourites are all in there. I love ice cream. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that's great. And especially when it's such a healthy product as the Booja Booja. So, our next category. Now, I'm just going to shortly digress on this, just to say that we have chosen the word favourite here. This year, last year, we introduced the animal sanctuary category, partly because veganism, is a position we take against the commodification, excuse me, of animals, and thus, excuse me. Do you know what? I'm just going to mute myself while I cough. Excuse me. Yes, excuse me for that brief interlude. So, it's important to recognise that animals are, of course, on the end of extreme violence perpetrated by humans. And really, as vegans, we're taking a position in solidarity with animals and against that commodification. Veganism's, in many respects, a set of lifestyle choices that reflects that animal rights position, that animals have a right not to be used as property. Animals, as we know, they're individuals, they have an interest in life. And veganism is that position that reflects that. And thus it would be almost incongruous not to recognise the survivors of this appalling abuse that we're trying to end. And not only the survivors, but also the people who work so hard to look after so many survivors that are possible. And I would ask anyone listening to, if you can, dig deep. Whilst we're indulging in our ice cream and all the rest of it this Christmas or whatever, let's also not forget those who are working so hard. And when we came to the animal sanctuaries, it didn't make sense to say best, because they're all best. And it didn't make sense to have this any kind of idea of any kind of competition, because, like all animal sanctuaries, really, all the people doing this work should be supported and praised and acknowledged, and they're all the best. But the idea of favourite was really to just be inclusive and to include animal sanctuaries and even the ones. I mean, we've only nominated 10, and there's hundreds that we could be nominated. And for all of those who are not included, may I take this opportunity to include you in these awards and say thank you on behalf of many for the work that you do and how valuable that is, and how much I would urge people to support animal sanctuaries, especially this coming winter, where once more, some severe shortages and financial hardships will be faced. So enough. The favourite animal sanctuaries. Here's 10 of them, and in third place we have Tower Hill Stables. Well on Tower Hill Stables, very popular, of course, very, very much loved. Place in our hearts, Tower Hill Stables. In second place, likewise, very also much so, Hillside Animal Sanctuary, of course, again, very much loved and respected sanctuary. In first place, again, as with last year, Dean Farm Trust, who have come in, a little bit ahead, but not that far. And it was gratifying to see support for our sanctuaries. And again, thank you, people. You deserve that. And well done, Dean Farm. Just up the road from us in Bristol, and visitors to VegFest in years gone by when we used to have the Bristol VegFest last decade. Well done. Yeah, that's great. Okay, next. Where are we? Yeah, coming up to half an hour. I should mention at this point, actually, we do have a guest. So stick with us, because we have a guest who's going to join us shortly, who doesn't actually, I'm not sure who even knows that they're joining an awards ceremony, but they'll be with us in 10 minutes. So stick with us. We've got one guest joining us. But before that, we're going to move on with the other, probably about halfway through. This is 21 categories. This is reflecting 2021. I should just mention the awards started in 2007. I should thank Tony Bishop Weston, who was the original instigator, had the original idea to create these awards. I was sort of cursing him at the time, but I'm absolutely deeply grateful for him for now. I absolutely adore this opportunity to acknowledge the hard work of so many people bringing through this incredible vegan movement to the people. So especially now that we're going a bit global, the awards are generally reflected to the UK-based vegan VegFest type people. This year we are reflecting some of the the growth we've made into the sort of global vegan arena. This is indeed Global Vegfest, and with our magazines, Voice of Vegan especially, we've been able to really communicate closely with some really terrific organisations that are promoting veganism around the world. Again, there's only 10 out of could have been hundreds, but these are all close to our heart, and I'm just going to dwell on this actually, just for 1 minute to say, I think I've mentioned already the Vivas network. Art of Compassion is a group we collaborate closely with. They are fabulous, and they will be at the heart of our live event in 2022. Isn't that exciting? The Art of Compassion, a global project. Veg Fund have been great. They supported us during lockdown. They've helped us do boost, actually. We've been able to boost our vegan content, so a lot of this content has really travelled, to hundreds of thousands of people because of VegfestUK, who of course do fabulous work all over the world anyway. The Divinity Project's been really interesting. That's really sort of been doing some interesting initiatives, especially in the USA. Plant-based treaty we talked about today already a number of times has been really, really come on quick. Vegan Adventures Holiday is another one we collaborate, and that is our good friend Emma, who is running, this wonderful travel around the world. A personal favourite is the Food Empowerment Project, who operate in the USA but do a global vegan chocolate list, which is really, really, really helpful for identifying chocolate that does not include, unfair labour practices, but is genuinely cruelty-free, not only vegan but also fair trade. And our really good pals too, Simo, VegFest Morocco, who've done outstanding work and continue to do so, and our new friends too, Animals Alliance Asia. Thank you, all of these people. It's been a pleasure working with all of you, bits and bobs, and Million Dollar Vegan, of course, I should mention, have been really staunch too with their support all over the world for people who are feeding, I think, like 1 million vegan meals they're giving away all around the world. That's just, wow. All of these amazing things are going on, and that is so inspirational, and thank you. We do have 3 winners, as it were, or whatever. And actually, I just made up with this. This is great. I mean, this is great. Because in 3rd place, we have Veg Fund, who are international, globally respected for decades, at least 2 decades. In 2nd place, we have the Plant-Based Treaty, which has kind of come out of almost nowhere, as it were. It's come up in the last, 6 months or a year or so. It's just gone a woof, again, all over the world. Something that I think just so many people are getting behind. In 1st place, I just absolutely thrilled about this. This is really important, actually. I think it's a significant moment for all of us here to recognise that Animals Alliance Asia as the winner of the favourite global vegan project, which is voted for by people around the world, particularly in the UK, but also around the world. And I'm absolutely made up. We were lucky enough to have 3 of Animals Alliance Asia people on our show not long ago, last Global Vegfest actually, and I should just say thank you to Lella Deccan for introducing us. What a fabulous result! Just made up, and I'm thrilled, and well done, because that's a people's vote, and that means that people have voted for Animals Alliance Asia as number 1. That's great. Well done. Favourite global vegan project. Right, next we are. Yeah. Favourite vegan business support. Now, this is really important because vegan businesses are really, in many respects, as much of a backbone of our movement as the grassroots campaigns and also the nationals campaign groups. And of course, the individuals that work and live and operate within. And basically, anybody who's vegan is part of that. But the businesses especially have had particularly challenging times. Of course, from a mental health aspect too, they're really challenging. We've got some great support networks here in different ways. And I'm going to pull out 2. One is Mad Promotions, which is Karen Richards, who I work with. I've already said how wonderful Karen is. I've also, she does our PR. Vegan Business Tribe, David and Lisa have been really, really cool. And they're pretty much doing that, as a almost altruistic sort of venture too. In particular too, Vegan Traders Union have been brilliant, really helpful, supportive, volunteer. And Vegan Events UK, that's Victoria and Miracle's mission. I mean, honestly, they've really displayed, they've been doing events during the most difficult times, and I really admire that initiative and respect it, and I find it inspirational actually. But I digress. 3rd place, Beyond Animal, who are helping with investment. In 2nd place, Vegan Events UK, I just mentioned, doing all the wonderful events around about the UK. But in first place came the Vegan Society trademark. There you go. Just picked Vegan Events UK to the post, as I say. Given the reach of the Vegan Society, which runs into sort of about 500,000 or something, and the amount of people who are, trademark holders, and I've got to say, Victoria, well done. You nearly beat the Vegan Society trademark, actually. But the Vegan Society trademark have come in first place. Congratulations. Thank you to all the work you do to support vegan businesses with that essential trademark. And, of course, for all the people who use that to recognise genuine vegan products. Thank you very much. Next category. Favourite vegan chocolate. Now, do you know what? What was interesting about this is there was more votes for vegan chocolate than any other category. That must mean that, and actually there was less votes for vegan supplements than any other category, which demonstrates that vegans do care way more, double more about their vegan chocolate than they do about their supplements. There's an indication of something interesting. I don't know what, but in third place, actually, I think we better look at the nominees first. Of course, some fabulous. And I've got most of those tucked away there. Yeah, tried them all. Yeah, lovely. Give them all 10 out of 10. Anytime, free samples, fabulous. Came in third. The Real Chocolate Company, who've been, a good couple of decades now, one of the pioneers of the real chocolate. Second place. Moo Free, big firm, very popular, and well done, Moo Free. And in first place, Nomo. Go on then. Okay, look. I promised that I bought that out of the shop. So there's no funny business. Everything's voted for by the people. And Nomo have not influenced my vote at all. Absolutely. But I did actually vote myself for Prodigy Snacks because they've been a VegfestUK Awards. We like their food, but Nomo have won, and congratulations to Nomo. They really are getting everywhere, and that's an absolutely brilliant one. A little shout out too for the Dapper Boys too. Dapper Boys got some fabulous chocolate. So yeah, actually I could go on about chocolate all night, but I won't because we've got our guests waiting in the wings. We've got a few more categories to get through. Next up, favourite vegan ready meal. The nominees for this are quite a few, very close, and indeed this was one of the very closest categories. I think there was a handful of votes just in the last few hours. And in third place was favourite vegan ready meal was Bowl Foods. They did really well. Second place was Lazy Vegan, who just picked Bowl to the post. And in first place, who just picked Lazy Vegan to the post by a vote or 5. One Planet Pizza. Well done, One Planet Pizza. You'll be thrilled with that. You've won this award before. You've won it again. And absolutely hats off because it's getting a very stiff competition. Well done, One Planet Pizza. And the next one, please. Favourite vegan supplements. I mentioned we didn't have quite so many votes here, but really important, as we were discussing earlier, some great firms there, some really developed supplements, and again, quite a close one. But interestingly, actually, the winner was quite a way ahead, actually, in looking at this now. So in third place, Better You. They have a really good sprays. Second place, Vegan Vitality, great range. And in first place, by some way, yes, Vegums, who are a firm favourite of VegFest. They've been coming to our shows for a little bit. They've also been doing a few mail trips with us. You may well be familiar with them. Congratulations to Vegums. Well done on winning the Favourite Vegan Supplements Award. All the awards will be published later. And the next category, please. Favourite Vegan Snack Bars. Very hotly contested. Some fabulous ones there. I'm sure we're familiar with quite a few. I say hotly contested. Actually, the opposite. There was a breakaway winner from day one. And the breakaway winner probably came in about twice as many votes as the rest put together, interestingly. So in third place, we have Pulsing. Well done, Pulsing. That's quite an accolade to come in ahead of everyone else there. Second place, we had Trek, which is, of course, owned by, or the same brand as, or part of the same brand as the winners, who indeed have walked away with this one, as they have done before. Naked snack bars. We remember Naked coming to VegFest in 2005 for the first time, and they had 3 bars. One of them was the cashew cookie, I seem to remember, and that was about it, you know. And now, of course, they've got, well, there you go. They won the award fair and square. Well done, Naked. That's fabulous. And the next category, please, is the favourite vegan community project. Again, this is really important to highlight some of the sort of grassroots, really. Some of the grassroots, some of the firms that are working really hard around, you know, mainly in the UK, but we have included the Plant Land in Gaza, who we featured in Force of Vegan back in the summer. Lots of votes for this, some great firms, lovely firms, and in third place for this one was indeed the Animal Rights Show, which is heartening. That's a weekly show that you can see online, run by some vegan activists focusing on animal rights. A brilliant show. Well done, the Animal Rights Show. Second place was the Plant-Based Health Professionals UK, which you may well be familiar with. Well done. Those doctors are also plant-based doctors, GPs, specialists, etc., sharing their knowledge and research for free. And in first place is the Vegan Camp UK, which has been running now for 40 years. It's a camp that probably, I think, started in 1981. So yeah, celebrating 40 years, and is a family camp that's seen people grow up. You know, generations really grown up, second and third vegan generations. So well done for the Vegan Camp UK, favourite vegan community project. It's great, heartening to see such a thriving grassroots community projects running throughout the country. So the next category is favourite vegan AR campaign group. Now this was a lot of votes, as you might imagine. I think only Chocolate got more votes than Vegan AR campaign group. We had some fabulous people, some of the, as you might say, as it were, the old favourites, you know, people like Hunt Sabs, been founded since 1963, right the way through to Camp Beagle, which was founded in, I think, July 2021 or something round about there. Really, this one was hotly contested, and in third place, Viva. Well done, Viva. All the big groups came in pretty close, actually. Viva just picked Animal Aid and the Vegan Society to third place. In second place will be well received by a lot of activists, Camp Beagle, and that would be like, whoa, they really got a lot of votes. I thought they were going to win it at one point, actually, which would have been pretty amazing, given they literally just sprung out of nowhere. But really hit a spot because of the vivisection issue. And so well done, Camp Beagle. The winner, no surprises, huge, across the planet, Veganuary, about to enter their biggest, I think it's 8th year, 2022. It's going to be the biggest one yet across the globe. Congratulations, Veganuary. You know, take this opportunity. So thank you, everybody who works within the campaign groups, who volunteers, the grassroots, nationals. Keep fighting the fight. You know, we've got to be resolute here. No time to quit. Got to keep going. Well, thank you. Next one. Favourite vegan cakes are baked. Yeah. Okay. Right. Guess what? We have a winner. And in third place was the Hadley Cake Co, which is wonderful to see because they were at our first ever VegFest in 2004 or 3 or something. The only cakes firm then. Now, of course, there's many, which is great because we like cake. Second place, Naked Bakery. That's fabulous. I won't digress because I get into trouble. And in third place, first place, I mean, once more, by not quite as many a wider margin as last time, but still a pretty impressive margin. And I think this is it the 6th? Or is it indeed the 7th? It could be the 7th. They've won every year, the Vegan Cakery. What a testament. Congratulations once more. I know every year it's always a surprise. You're always grateful, always humble. We're always thrilled. And everybody, well done, who's voted and supported the Vegan Cakery. Once more winning the favourite vegan cakes and baked goods for 2021. Okay, next category. Favourite artisan vegan cheese, and there are a number of people in this nominations. We've chosen the artisan because this is kind of like handmade, smaller independent firms. Here you go. Quite a few familiar names coming in third place. Coming in third place, we have Naturally Vegan Food Company. They'll be thrilled with that, I know. Weren't expecting that. Well done. Second place. Tyne Cheese. Well done, Tyne Cheese. That's fabulous. And in first place, La Fromagerie. Fantastique. Magnifique. C'est super bon. La Fromagerie in London, and they have their brand of cheeses, and they've won the award. Favourite vegan artisan cheese. Pretty close category. Thank you very much. Well done. Okay, next category. Favourite vegan snack spread sweets. In this, we have a number of nominees. Very close, this one, actually. Surprisingly, actually close. But some wonderful products there. And in third place, we have Eat Real Snacks, which is the Co-Fresh brand. The sort of chips and stuff with lentils and such like. Second place was just Jevons Toffee, who came in there with their wonderful handmade toffees and sort of chocolate type things. In first place, partly, I suspect, because of the success of their amazing vegan cream eggs, is Mummy Meeks. Well done, Mummy Meeks, a familiar face at VegFest in years gone by. And of course, we hope to see you back in 2022, which is our good news. We have a return to live events, November 12th, 13th, 2022, at the Grand Olympia. We're looking forward to seeing you all again. What should be an incredible reunion of so many vegan businesses, people, organisations, such like. Next category, please. Well done, Mummy Meeks. Favourite vegan pudding cake products. Of course, an essential one. Some lovely brands there. A runaway winner, I have to say, by quite a stretch. But in third place, we have Conscious Skincare. Well done. That's brilliant. Great little brand. Love them. Very nice, tidy brand. Second place. Bare for the Skin. Very nice too. Yes, I've seen some of the stuff. It's great. Really love that. First place by some stretch. Well done, Eden Perfumes. Winner of the VegfestUK Awards 21. Favourite vegan body care product. Okay. Well done, Eden. Lovely. Now, we're coming to the favourite plant-based book. Now, this is great because we've got some really amazing authors out that come up in the last, few years, few months, especially in 21. Because, I guess people have had some time to do their books. But we really have got some lovely books here. Some really, really good ones. This really had, what was interesting here is so many of these, everybody got votes. A lot of these really, there wasn't really, there was a winner, obviously, but it wasn't really like this kind of clear winner thing going on. This is just like lots of people appreciating the shared knowledge. In third place, we have The Plant-Based Diet Revolution. Alan Desmond, Dr. Desmond will be well impressed with that because that's his debut novel. He'll be made up with that. Well done, Alan. Second place. Everyday Vegan, Jackie and Gareth. Jackie Norman, Vegan for the Animals. Jackie, well done. I know, Gareth, you wrote me a lovely email. I bet you're glad with my answer now. Well done. Came second. That's great. And in first place, for the favourite plant-based book of 2021, and that is Robert Cheek and Matt Fraser and the Plant-Based Athlete. Well done. Just came in first. That's fabulous news. Well done, Robert. Well done, Matt. Really good. And I hope that does exactly what you hope, and that wins you that UK book deal because we all want this book in the UK in every bookshop. Fabulous. I'm really glad we have this category, and thank you all of these authors, and some that we didn't include too. You know, so many good books coming out. What are two of them not even published yet? There we go. And now I think this is the last category. It is favourite vegan book. Fabulous. There's, again, some great books. And kind of vegan, obviously there's vegan, really looking at this more sort of philosophy or position and some of the ethics, whereas the plant-based is focusing more on the benefits of, you know, plants, health, environment, food supply, such like. Specifically, though, looking at ethical veganism, if you like, and really some good books here. I've read a few of them, and they are great. So, well done, everybody. In third place, we had Ethical Vegan, Geordie Kazimajana. Well done, Geordie. Been on our show a few times. Well done. Got your book right there. Great book. Second place. Excuse me, that Alex and Ronnie, should have included Ronnie there, Ronnie Worsey, for the Vegan Guide. Again, I've got that book here. It's great. It's a really light-hearted book. You've done well there, Alex. I'm really happy to see that here. I'm also thrilled to see the winner in a very closely fought favourite vegan book is Why Veganism Matters by Professor Gary Francione. And at this point, I should mention that Gary is going to join us in about 3 minutes. Gary's waiting patiently. He's in New York. He's just had dinner, and he's sitting there going to join us for 10 minutes to come and say hello. But well done, Gary. I think that's a real testament, though, to yourself for your books, but also I think the influence of your work on other people's books. You know, I note that some of the books that came in you know, some of them are closely influenced by you. So I think it's just great to see ethical veganism so clearly defined and so accepted. So before we welcome Gary, I've just got, first of all, to say thank you everybody who voted. That's, I think, all the categories. We've got 2 more specials to come, but I think everybody voted there. So well done. Thank you, everyone who voted. I know not everyone's included. It's not a perfect awards, but we do our best. And really, the vibe here is, look, be supportive, talk each other up, make each other look good, have good things to say about each other, and do this as a collective, and show the world that veganism, you know, is a really valid and accessible option in so many facets. Before we go to Gary, just going to mention we've got 2 special awards. We tend to do this now. There's a couple of things that we didn't include. Very briefly, 2 special awards that haven't been voted for, but we're just going to give them to these people anyway. It's really just to say, look, you know, unfortunately we didn't include an events category this year, partly because we've been shut, partly because it's just been a bit of a Western Superman really all around, you know, the whole event. So may well be full next year too, who knows? But two events have stood out, and we're going to honour a global and a UK vegan event with just a special award, which really I've just sort of made up. So forgive me, because, you know, we can't include everyone, but what we can do is say thank you to everybody who's, you know, voted. Thank you for everybody who's been nominated. Thank you for everybody who's partaken, and thank you particularly for these people here. We had them on the programme earlier. We were chatting to Tivai, and we were chatting to Mar, we were chatting to Zoo. And the Inspiration Global Vegan Event of 2021 is a special award for the Vibrant Vegan Society of Ghana, who've just been doing some really magnificent work, such attractive, wonderful work, outreach work, such a great collective community event, and such an inspiration. And that's why we've called it the Inspirational Global Vegan Event of 2021. And we're through. Well done. That's not really a winner because, you know, it's just us saying you're amazing, but you are. And we want you to flourish and can continue. We want to support you and share your events. And we want people to be inspired. So thank you, Tivai, and all your team. That's us saying thank you. We love you. We love what you're doing. Keep going. And for the UK one, there's only one winner there. Thank you. In the Inspiration UK Vegan event, people who really have shown some bottle. Let me tell you, because I'm sat in your shoes in a similar way, so I know full well. And these people are half my age, and I know what I've had to face. I know what I've had to face. And I have nothing but respect and admiration for Jordan and all his team for putting on the vegan camp out in the August of 2021 at the Newark Showground. 7,000 people camping there for this 2-day event, which was just incredible. So many people coming together, such a clean event, such an inspirational event. And it's going to go ahead in less than 7 months from now. It's going to go ahead at a new venue with I think a 4th day added, so you get 4 days now of camping and all this vegan stuff going on. Well done to the Vegan Camp Out team, that really is, and all the people who sail under that banner. Well done. Thank you. Gratitude for your inspiration. So there we go. Thank you, everybody. And now, our guest, Gary. I've got Gary. We have.
Hi, Tim. Hi, Tim.
Hey,
How are you?
Oh, yeah. Classic Rumble. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I'm really happy. I mean, it's interesting because there is greater acceptance of my work. It's always been regarded as sort of on the fringe in terms of being radical, but now I think it's becoming more accepted, and I'm delighted. I really am. I'm very, very happy. And as I was listening to you go through those awards, it just hit me how active the scene is in Britain. The vegan scene in Britain is unlike any. As far as I understand, it's nowhere else like that. And I think part of that is you have, I remember the one time I've been to VegFest where it was just a sea of people going from place to place trying all of these things. And I hope you get back live soon, because I think VegFest is actually probably it plays a huge role in getting these things. People try them, then they become brands. I mean, it'd be interesting to know how many products really got launched at VegFest. That would be interesting to find out, because my guess is a number of them. But see, we don't have anything like that here, really, and not like VegFest.
Well, you've got some really good events, Gary. I must say I've been inspired by some of the American events. There are some fabulous events, but we are lucky in the UK, and we're lucky too because there's so many. And before the lockdown, I think we had something like 300 vegan events across the UK.
Were any of them as big as VegFest?
No, not all of them. Some of them pretty close or similar, but no, not quite on a conference level, but on the the availability of maybe like 80, 100 stalls full of vegan products, and you could go in for £1 or £2, not a lot of money, and try all this fabulous food, but also that kind of community supportive aspect where people are seeing each other and helping each other. And we are lucky, but I mean, obviously America's a big country, America,
Well, no, I mean, we've had things like the World Vegan Summit and things like that, but I mean, nothing as large that I'm aware of, nothing that was even remotely like what I saw in London at VegFest, which actually was a mind-blowing event.
I was curious. Yeah.
There are literally thousands and thousands of people. And I mean, it was enormous. I mean, I still remember walking into that venue that day and thinking, oh my God, I've never seen anything like this in my life. And going around from stall to stall and see what people had. I mean, it was just the choices were just remarkable. I mean, it was incredible. And I'm sure some of those brands, some of those people who had stalls where they had small operations are probably now in businesses largely as a result of being exposed at events like VegFest.
some of them have, and indeed, actually, what we're seeing, and interesting, because we announced that we're going back to live events. We've got our date for Olympia next year at 2022, November 12th, 13th, in the Grand at Olympia, which is the same venue but a different hall. It's the big hall there. Some in this 3 year, what will be a 3 year gap. We've seen actually some of the brands that started with us have now been bought out. They've got so big that they've just been bought out by multinationals or by big companies, and we're slightly challenged by some of this as to do we fit people in, or because the growth is now so big that you've got a lot of people who, as it were, jumped on the plant-based bandwagon and invested a lot of money into plant-based options because the business is driving that growth. But that doesn't mean they're necessarily ethical or vegan.
Well,
so on a vegan ethical event with some of the people who now own some of our favorite brands is a new challenge, but it's one that's come about the popularity of plant-based.
Well, remember, all money is ultimately dirty. So even if you have somebody at the event who's completely vegan and isn't owned by a corporation that does something problematic, people who supply them may not be vegan. This is the problem. I mean, if you once you get beyond the ingredients of it, it becomes very difficult to sort of say, where do you draw the line? Because there's always going to be. I mean, I wrote about this, and I wrote about this in the book that I just got the award for. I discuss what do you do, how do you draw the line, and the problem is all money is dirty. So if you've got to, because this is the argument a lot of people say, they would say, well, you can't be vegan if you're eating the plant products of this company because this company is owned by that company, and that company produces animal products. And I'll give you an example. You remember a few years ago, diet cheese got bought out by some company, I think in Japan. The cheese substitute. Okay, and people here were saying it wasn't vegan anymore because the company that bought it out did testing, did animal testing. I mean, they had a whole bunch of products and they did some animal testing. And my position was, look, if this product was vegan, when you were buying it in these supermarkets that sell all of the meat and the dairy and the eggs and all this other stuff, if that product was okay when you were purchasing it there, the fact that some parent company now engages in animal testing, obviously that's not a good thing, but there's really no way to draw that line. I mean, it's like saying, well, if you've got a company that has a cafeteria, it doesn't produce any animal products, but it produces only plant products, but it's got a cafeteria that sells animal products to workers. They have hamburgers and, with real meat and things. Is that any different from a company that tests or a company that is owned by a parent that produce? I mean, this is the problem. You can't really draw any lines. My view is that, the more plant-based products get out there, the more they're going to push the animal products out. So it's going to be a very complex economic process that's going to happen over a period of years. The only problem is whether or not we'll all live long enough as a result of global warming or pandemics, both of which are related to animal consumption, whether or not we're going to make it. But I think if we live long enough, Tim, we'll see the market really changing dramatically. I think we're going to see.
I agree, and there are factors driving that, but it's not an easy one. But
no.
We hope so. We hope to see it, and we are seeing that. And I'm also inspired by some of the work we've been seeing in different countries too. The Animals Alliance Asia have just won the award for the best global vegan project. I think that's 40 countries working together. Activists from 40 countries to push forward, and they're all faced with different challenges. We've spoken to some activists from Pakistan who are, facing different challenges from people in Japan, and then we've got activists in Hong Kong we're speaking with who are obviously facing some particular set of challenges. To see that coming through though on a global level, it is thrilling, and I think we will. I'm very confident. this next 10 years will see both positions, the vegan position, where we're opposed to the commodification of animals, and we find ways of not using animals, and the growth in plant-based diets and the community spirit and the good food and the health benefits, environmental impact. But these have both grown.
Absolutely.
Huge. And at some point they will merge. At some point they will merge. They'll become.
Well, there's already an overlap, but there'll be a merger. There'll be greater merger.
So Gary, it's the awards tonight, so we're going to be fairly brief because I know people are. I will just say that I think everybody, if you want to see all the awards results, I think they're published on the website now, so you can go to VegfestUK website and you can see the awards results. It's going to be in about 10 minutes, I should think, 10-15 minutes. So if you're wanting to check that. Gary, before we go though, first of all, hoping that we'll be back actually in March. We've got a Global Vegfest in March, so we can perhaps talk about a session we can talk to. We might be in touch a bit earlier than that, a bit longer then. But before we do go, I know that, and I did mention this, that this year we did say goodbye to somebody who's much loved and revered amongst the animal rights community, somebody who's had a huge impact, and somebody that I know you did know, and that's Chris Nancy Reagan, who passed away a couple of months ago, I think 3 months ago, that's in the summer. You knew Nancy, didn't you? Nancy, if people who didn't know, Nancy and Tom Reagan, was instrumental really in helping the development of animal rights. I know you knew Tom and Nancy I think in the 90s, wasn't it? You were working with Tom in the 80s, maybe 90s. And Nancy's done some fabulous work right up until this year with her grant schemes. And I know that Art of Compassion, who we work with, had a grant from that foundation. But you knew Nancy, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. They were... when we lived in New York City, Tom and Nancy loved New York, and we had a loft in Greenwich Village, and we had one of our bedrooms was called the Tom and Nancy bedroom because they had their clothes in there. They used to come up all the time, and we I worked with Tom throughout much of the 80s and well into the 90s, and Nancy was always there. Look. She was a lovely person. She really was. She was a very nice person. She was a very kind person. She was extremely, I don't think Tom would have been able to do the work that he did without the support he got from Nancy. She was really, really terrific. And, it's sad. I mean, Tom and I worked together, as I said, during the 80s and 90s, and then we sort of fell apart because our ideas were different. I mean, I was definitely of the view that we really couldn't accommodate a welfarist component. He was of the view that we could, and so we sort of split. But then we started getting back together again towards the end of his life, but it didn't. We started talking again, and I'd like to think we would have actually done something again, animal rights related, but he died. But yeah, no, she was a terrific. They were, look, I have a lot of some of the best times, in the years that I've been doing this stuff. Some of the best times I remember were with Tom and Nancy, and I still remember, we would have these when they would come up to New York. We would sit in my apartment, and the four of us, Anna and I and Tom and Nancy, would oftentimes stay up all night, and we would be talking about some issue or not, and all night long. And then other people would come. I remember once Sue Ko, the artist, being there. There would be other people who would come, and we would all sit around. We would there would be other activists, people who were not perhaps as they weren't academics or whatever, but they would come and they would sit and they would talk forever and try. And it was an interesting time, and and I have lots of memories of those times. And so, yeah, no, it is. I saw when I saw Nancy died, I thought, you know, you know, look, they were special people to us, and both of them. And we didn't agree on everything, but I think we had, you know, we had a lot of affection for each other, I think. And but in any event, so yeah.
Well, thanks, Gary, and thank you for those kind words about Nancy and Tom. You know, I know some of our friends listening how much that means to, you know, the work there, and we should always credit the people who've helped develop this, and we wouldn't want them forgotten. And I know Nancy was a huge contribution to the growth of animal rights.
Oh yeah. And Tom, you know, actually, Tim, Tom always recognized that. As a matter of fact, it was very unusual for Tom to ever to give a public talk about animal rights when he didn't talk about Nancy. As a matter of fact, I don't remember him ever doing it. I mean, he always, whenever he gave a public talk, he was always talking about Nancy. But you know, so I mean, they were a team. You know, they were a team, and I think, you know, there's a number of us who've been doing this for a long time. We're parts of teams. You know, we do stuff together, and it is what we do. But you know,
Gary, thanks very much for joining us. We're going to wrap up. We've got another day tomorrow. I know my colleague Pete needs to post the awards. Everyone's waiting for the awards too.
Well, thank you very much. I hope I'm going to be in Britain all next year. So I'm going to be in Britain all next year. So I'm hoping that I get a chance to see you in November.
yeah. Well, you'd be very welcome. I mean, November the 12th, 13th.
Very good.
Grand. That's dates. We're as set in stone as you can be during a pandemic. The day they've announced national whatever, and London is now in a state of emergency or something else from a few hours ago. But hey, let's hope that by next November that's history.
Who knows what variant will be on in November? Who knows?
We'll have gone past the Omega one by then.
Exactly. We'll be well beyond. Thank you very much, and I'm very excited about my book. Very excited about my book.
Thanks, Gary. Thank you.
Okay.